And welcome back to the hottest marriage show in the galaxy. It's I, John D, a.k.a. Mr. Too Much, with my better half, Kanika, a.k.a.
Dude.
We are doing Too Much podcast. Welcome back to another week of conversations that we have in our house to find better options to introduce to our kids so they can be successful when we're not around. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. You?
I'm doing well also. I think I'm still recovering from a little bug, but I'm not bad at all. I think I'm still a little exhausted from the weekend. Had a really good weekend. Saw some beautiful people, and I got to share some information. So I'm doing pretty well.
That's good. That's good. What was the best part?
You know, just seeing people. Seeing people, like I told you before, you know, you may see somebody that you haven't seen in over 20 years, but you see them on social media and it seems like you see them, and then there'd be somebody that you haven't seen in 20 years, literally. And, you know, so I think just the overall joy in seeing different people's, you know, I guess expressions of happiness, because they all looked happy. Like saw so many faces just sprinkled here and there, and it just seemed to like a lot of joy.
See, social media makes me feel like I don't need to go to reunions or things like that. Like, you know, they talk about, Kanika, you don't go to a high school reunion? I don't, because I see what y'all doing every day, but you found value in like laying eyes on people.
It was because you really don't know what people are doing on social media. They just tell you the best parts.
Absolutely.
So when you get to see them, you can feel the energy if it's true or not. And I think that where I am now, a lot of people ask questions, asking me what I'm doing. So it was pretty cool to just reveal some of the things that I've been practicing. I had friends introduce me to their kids, and it was like a purposeful intent to introduce me. And it made me feel really good because I felt like, you know, I can share a little bit of what I've learned to other people's kids on purpose.
You know how there was a real disconnect because you said, I mean, like, there are people like, all right, they had kids in college. And I'm like, we have a daughter that's a junior. Yeah. Like, we're almost there.
We are.
So it's crazy to sit here. In my head, when you first said it, I was like, dang, they must have been young when they had a kid. But I'm like, no, we're just a couple years off. So I don't think that I'm fully in tune with how old I actually am anymore.
Arrested development.
But I think people think you're drinking from the fountain of youth.
Yeah, I heard a lot of that. But I think, it's just diet. You know, I'm really a big advocate on that. And I think if you can control your diet, you're a lot happier.
Is that impacting the gray in your hair or lack thereof?
I don't know.
Because people were looking for the gray.
Sure.
They were looking for...
You know, I can say
they were looking for aging.
If I can say, remember I said that I saw it increasing, but it slowed down since then.
Oh, okay.
So I think I got a grip on not stressing about things that don't matter, or at least things that I can't help.
I went to the first in-person meeting for my job since the pandemic, and I was like trying to put something on, and I'm like, usually I just throw something on, but this time I was like, okay, I gotta find. It took too long to think, and then when I finally just settled on something and I walked out the door, I looked over and I looked like a 40-something-year-old mother. I've never felt like I looked like that before. This week has been a week of, Kanika, how old are you for real?
You know, just you saying that, I would have never thought you looked like. I don't even know what a 40-year-old mother looks like.
You should have seen me. I had my hair put up, and then I had in a head wrap, and then I had on a jean jacket and some jeans. I hate matching jean jackets and jeans. I always put a different pair of pants on. Because I feel like in college when we used to try to match the guest jean jacket outfits, I don't do that. But I did it this time. And then I had a shirt that I was like, I'll just put this shirt on. And it looked like an old lady's shirt. I looked like an old lady when I walked out the door. And then had the nerve to put some gym shoes on. Girl, what are you doing? I was like, we have really, really got to do a real look at what am I looking like when I walk out this door.
What do you want to look like? That's probably what it is.
What do I want and what am I doing?
Yeah.
It's not aligning.
Just when I asked you yesterday, I was like, I asked you, so do I look like an old man?
Oh, yeah.
Because in my head, I think I'm the freshest all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like for real.
Well, I mean, you were also someone, like I told you, someone that used to walk around in hospital scrubs. And so, I mean, as your leisurely clothes. So I feel like when you ask me that, I take into account who you are. And I'm like, nah, not at all. No, you look about right.
Yeah. Well, yesterday somebody was like, I can always count on you to have something that nobody has. So I was like, at least that's part of it. I don't want to, I want to look like I came here to have a good time, but it was thought out.
All right.
Yeah. So,
right.
So what's on the brain for this week?
So I realized I'm one of those mothers. And I try my best not to be, but I am. They say you raise your daughters and love your sons. Mm-hmm. And so this week, I had ordered Dallas this desk that looks identical to Day's. And when Day got hers, we sat down together and put this desk together. And Day is better than me at following the instructions. Like, she goes directly into the book and she looks piece by piece. I peruse it. And when Dallas got this desk, I sent it, he took it downstairs and I was like, okay, you can get it started while I do Day, I help Day with her homework. And he came up and he said, me putting together my dresser must have been a fluke because I can't put this desk together. I need your help. And I was like, okay. So I go downstairs. Now he's upstairs relaxing. I decide to go downstairs and look at this desk to see what's the problem, right? Why didn't I go and get him to come down with me? Because the expectation was he was going to put this desk together with me like Day did. So I go downstairs and I see that he screwed a screw in too tightly. And then he tried to pull it out and there is a connecting piece inside of the wood that was also in there. He pulled all of it out. So I understand him coming upstairs like, oh, shoot, I messed this desk up. But when I looked at it, I was like, okay, well, let me go get these tools. And I put the wrench on there. I unscrew it. I separate all the pieces. I replace them back the way they're supposed to do. And then I continued and completed the desk. And then I put the desk up and went to sleep. Dallas did none of this. He didn't help. I didn't require him to sit next to me and see what I did. Nothing. I didn't ask him, how do you think you can undo this? Nothing. But with Day, when things happen, I'll be like, Day, what do you think we need to do? What do you think? I'm always talking to her about how to think through whatever she has, any problem or whatever. And I guess I think to myself, I'm sure Dallas knows this. I'll just do this. It's not a problem. But truthfully, I was bothered by the fact that I expect Day to get in there and be able to get things done. And Dallas, I let him rest upstairs and relax while I fixed what he did and then put the desk together. So I didn't think about it until I came upstairs and I was like, I would have never, I don't know if it was never. I probably would put something together without Day, but Day would not let me. If it's her, she's going to come and she's going to do it. And he's done that before. He did his own bed. He did his own dresser or whatever. But this was, he had a problem. And it looked like it was broken. And I didn't, even though I could see how to solve the problem, I didn't make him come and think through any of it. And I was talking to my mom about it yesterday, and she said, I said something about you, and you know how you'll be like, I was never taught that. And my mom was like, why does he always say that? And I said, and she was like, you weren't taught that. And I said, I wasn't, my mom didn't say it to me. I just saw it.
Yeah.
Like when she solved problems, my mom didn't say, now this is how you do it. She never took me to the side and said, Nika, how do you think through this? This is what you need to do, blah, 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 blah. None of that. She would see a problem and I would watch her as she fixed it. And then I'd be like, oh, so that's where the joke in our family is all you got to do is, because my mom is very quick to look at something and she'll, analyze, and she'll be like, oh, all you got to do is this. And then she fixes it. So usually I know it gets on your nerves when I'm like, John, all we got to do is, and then you're like, oh, please. But I am teaching Day, all you got to do is, and I'm not teaching Dallas. And I had always said, I don't want Dallas to be ill-equipped to be a real partner who can think and help. And it's second nature for him to jump in and put his hands in whatever the issue is. But I realize I'm a part of the problem. And I was telling my mom, like my older brother, he's a problem, like off rip. He's like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. He thinks through whatever he's going to do. And part of that was he watched my uncle, my mom's older brother, and that's what he does. And I watched my mom, and I was like, but if you talk to Kyle's not, my younger brother, he's not like that. He'll definitely pay the professional. He knows what he knows and he does his thing, but I don't think I've ever considered, like, if something is broken, how much time would he spend trying to figure it out versus being like, oh, this is a problem, let me, hire somebody, or, I'm having this problem, like talk it out with somebody. But I guess I've never sat with him and asked him, do you ever, like, how much do you sit and put time into it? Because I remember when we were younger, Kyle was always out. He was always out running, since he was like 5 years old. Kyle's been out in the streets and having a good time being a kid's kid. And my mom, I was in the house more, so I watched her more. So I guess I really need to follow up with him and ask him, like, how much does he really like tackle things versus and thinks his way through things versus, when he comes up with a problem, he thinks to himself, I'm gonna have to go get this fixed. I'm gonna have to go have somebody do this. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I want Dallas to be able to think through, like, oh yeah, that was a problem. Let me not just go upstairs and tell mom about it and then go do whatever. But part of that was my mistake because I didn't go get him to make him do anything. And if I did that more, I think it would be second nature for him to start to do those things. But that was my biggest, like, it bothered me this.
But at least you're aware of it, because some mothers continue to do it and they cripple their kid and they're an adult now and they still don't even know what caused it.
Yeah. So he's like, almost 15. And I know that at 18, Dallas is not going to be in the house.
Yeah.
And he was even talking to me about that. He was like, I'm either going to be here or I'm going to be here, thinking about his top schools. And he's going to be somewhere out of my reach of being able to be like, this happened. What do I do? Or how do I? So I have to start teaching him he already knows how to think, but like in regular day type things. You know what I'm saying? You don't just use your brain for whatever the books ask you to use it for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think with Day, I feel like she is living her life much like how I did seeing things, but also she gets involved. Like, I used to be all in my mom's space and trying to figure out what she's doing, and I would help her. But I hope that I'm being more intentional with, I definitely am when I ask Day, why should we do this next? Or, you know what I'm saying? I help her to learn how to think past whatever is happening. Okay, so what do I do with this and this and this? But Dallas, no.
I think as I listen to you, I guess the beginning was like, where's the father in all of this? You doing homework, he messes the desk up. The father didn't come in and do where is this guy?
What did we do that? Was that I don't know. I remember you said you saw the problem though.
No, I didn't see it. Oh no, because when I went down there, he showed me I didn't see the other one. It was I was like, I said I can fix this. I was like, do you want to continue working on the desk? And I asked him if he needed help and he said no. So then I woke up and then the desk was put together. So that's what, so it bothers me in certain ways, but I want you to know what I recognize though. For you to recognize that you have to do a better job at understanding like the things you give to your daughter, your son deserves also. Yeah. But the way that you love them, you can love him the way that you do. But as far as just the things that you are equipping your daughter with, like, because listening to, like, if I don't know to teach because I kind of just picked it up. So I don't think about things that like, like how I'm supposed to say, hey, Dallas, this is other than when it happens, but when you, like you said, you're a lot more intentional with the day and like just be more intentional with him because the things that you show Day, the problem solving, that I think anybody could benefit from that. And yeah. So I don't in my head, like, I know you just wanted to get it done.
Yeah, it was late. But, that's why when we had dinner the next day, I tried to describe to him. I'm like, you remember what happened? Okay, so this is what I did. And even though I was trying to describe it to him so he could see it in his head, it would have been better for him to actually do it. And he said, okay, now hold the wrench here. Now turn this, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I recognized it and I, like, cringed over it all day. It was annoying me. And then during dinner when we were talking about it, I was just like, I can't let those experiences, as small as they may seem, were like, oh, I could just do this real quick. It don't matter if I could do it real quick.
Now, that's what I'm saying though, like for you to even recognize it, I don't think it'll happen again.
Oh no.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's brilliant to me. I feel like when you can catch a mistake before a consequence later could develop, that's the growth. That's impressive.
Yeah. So now it makes me think about, when we talk and then you're like, I was never taught that. It makes me want to say, what did you see?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I can take, well, I can't say that. Well, I know my dad was a good person because I didn't develop really bad things. Like the foundation of me is like he was a really good person, apparently, because I don't think I'm that far from him in that capacity. But when I say what I seen, I did everything. Yeah. So I don't know, like even when it comes to like grooming, the only thing I can tell you is like if you put activator in your hair, your waves are shine.
Wait, everybody remembers that really, really clear, bubbly looking activator gel.
This is white activator,
really?
curl activator. Yeah, it was white. And he was like, well, he told me to brush my hair too. He was like, you'll have them big waves, them big ocean waves. Oh. And then when I figured that out, he was like, all you got to do is put curl activator on it and it'll shine from afar. But that's the only thing. Like, he didn't tell me anything about deodorant. He just said, don't shave, because if you shave, you're going to be mad later because it'll grow and then you can't stop it from growing.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that from people saying that.
Yeah, but like everything that I teach Dallas, it's because I heard somebody else do it with their son or like I'm just trying to be more mindful. But yeah, I just don't like it's not one of those things where like, okay, you're at this age now, and
Now it's time for this discussion.
So it hasn't been like that. And, we were a lot different because we talked about sex at such a young age that like we didn't even have to like during this time, like it's not like they're out here trying to create babies.
Yeah, they already went into like health classes, like are aware.
Yeah.
So they already had a full picture. So I will say that I appreciate having those conversations earlier. Some may have felt like it was inappropriate to start so early, but sex life starts earlier and earlier for kids.
Especially with no supervision.
Yeah. And I think when you get the chance, and it's not just the timing, it's the message, like not teaching with scare tactics. Like we're not teaching you to be afraid. We're informing you. We're not, putting fear in you.
Yeah.
And I think that if you're informed well enough, you'll get that healthy fear that
it ain't even a healthy fear. It's just like it's probably not the best thing to do.
Yeah, like just the sensible.
Yeah, like probably not the smart thing to do.
No.
But if you are in an environment where the baseline of living reckless is really
for real,
like
let's have a good time. Look, when I think about the stuff my friends used to say to me, like it's no wonder that I should have been in far more trouble than I actually was. And not my friends like high school, like middle school, when it was that time where you're learning stuff and you're in between thinking you're a kid and you're an adult, but you're not really even adult. So it's when you're playing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're playing the role. And I had some friends that were very pivotal in the decisions that I made just based off of the households they lived in and the life they led. And then it was like what was acceptable in their home. And they're like, yeah, this is fine. Da, 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 da. Not thinking to myself, now, if Birdie knew, if Harry knew, look, I figured out later on if Birdie and Harry knew what was going to happen. But I that's one thing about Day in Dallas. I don't think that I'm hoping and I'm pretty confident that friends and their suggestions, they'll be able to be like, that sounds dumb.
Yeah,
like,
I'm really interested in like when that moment comes where their boundaries tested.
Yeah.
And they don't have enough information, and do they do it or do they step away or will they tell us? Because that's what we want to know. Like, how responsible are you going to be when we're not around?
Yeah.
So, getting back to what you were saying about the learning lessons with Dallas, like, I'm happy that you caught that because I feel like I need to be more mindful also because there are some things, I'll say this, sometimes I don't want to do it because I feel like I make him uncomfortable because I know I'm going to talk. Like when he talks to you, like there's a different carefree attitude with when it comes to you guys. You guys can talk about nothing and enjoy each other that way. I don't enjoy talking about nothing.
I know.
And it disturbs me.
Okay.
It does because like I don't want to talk about nothing, but I want to be able to talk where he doesn't have to always feel like it's a learning lesson.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah, I know. Like, and that's what I say with my friends now. Like, they don't really come to me with anything other than something serious because I'm not talking about fun things anymore.
Yeah.
Or those those things that I can't do anything about.
Yeah.
But I will say before we go, I did have a conversation with people about Eminem.
Oh, okay.
And I said, I need you to name somebody that you say is better than him. They gave names, right? And I was like, well, why do they say he's the best? He's in his own category. Their opinions don't matter. He was like, no, they matter. But I was like, then I don't understand why this guy is not the best. And he was just like, I think sometimes when you get the people and you can talk to them and hear what they're saying, and like, it all boils down because he's white.
Uh-huh.
Nobody wants to give him that. But I was like, and the only reason why I'm telling you this is because when people have enough information and you don't sound like a prick, they'll be more considered to changing their mind because they have more information. But if you are just shoving this information and they don't like the way it sounds, they don't even hear it.
Well, you know what's interesting is that you used to have conversations, lively debates, if I will. You used to have a lot of lively debates with your friends about things like that.
Oh, I know.
And it was like laughing and sometimes, like pointing fingers, and some people get defensive, but it's all fun and games.
Yeah.
You just had a similar conversation and your focus was on being able to change someone's mind or making them think about it. It felt far more of a learning experience than just a fun, like, back and forth. What do you think?
That's what I said. Everything is all about the learning aspect.
You gotta.
Because I feel like this, because I feel like if they're gonna get a piece of me, that's the piece I want them to get.
Well, if I'm circling back to Dallas and you being able to have enjoyable, like, whatever conversations with him, the liveliness and the back and forth, and not necessarily trying to drive home a point. Oh shoot!
Golly, get
the liveliness. Shh. Hush.
Chill out.
You want to go downstairs? The liveliness and trying to drive home a point takes the fun and the carefreeness out of it. If you're driving home a point, it becomes a learning experience, even if it doesn't have to be. It could just be an exchange of ideas, fun ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, but I haven't figured it out yet.
But yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to figure it out.
Okay.
Like, I don't want people to be uncomfortable around me. Mm-hmm. Like, I do want them to know, like, I'm going to give you the information that I believe in. Yeah. You know, like, if you come with something, I'm like, the information that I'm about to give you, like, I practice it, but I don't know how to have fun yet. Yeah. And remember, I couldn't laugh. I never.
Oh my God.
So
yes.
At least now I'm aware of this. I got to figure this out.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a journey part. So at least I'm trying, right? And we do laugh together now a lot more.
We do, even about senseless things. But you know what? That's strictly because I bring up senseless things. But
no, I laugh at things and I bring stuff up that's funny.
Oh, okay. Well, it's very different from before. Before, y'all, just so you know, this joker used to, like, stone face the entire time. You couldn't have fun. I thought I was gonna get a divorce because I was so. You can't live like that, but you can live like that, but I can't live like that. So I'm glad that you've loosened up.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find a balance. Mm-hmm. I am. At least I'm looking for it, though.
Yeah, and I'm watching. I'm going to be patient as you evolve.
No doubt. Mm-hmm. Anybody you want to give a shout out before we get out of here?
No. Yes, the parents of a daughter and a son, because I understand rearing them differently, but there are some things that both of them got to get out of us. So shout out to those who knew before I did and have been doing it, and to those who are thinking about it now and it's like, okay, what can I do to change and kind of level these playing fields with these kids?
For sure.
Good luck.
I want to give a shout out to Leroy Dorsey, 85 signature after he passed away last week. 2-man line. Shout out to him and his family. Anybody else that was impact. Yeah. Y'all make today better than yesterday. Don't worry about anything you can't control. GATA, get after that action, or that action will get after you. Be great on purpose. Boom.